Mehdi Hassan hosted Bwala in the UK, and it was a bloodbath. Mehdi Hassan brought a lot of receipt, and Bwala had to deny almost everything he said against the current president of Nigeria. And it was so embarrassing that a lot of people felt embarrassed for him. He was one of the opposition leaders or opposition spokesperson a few years back, and then he jumped ship, probably because he wanted to be part of the government or they offered him a job. And he has been tasked with defending the horrendous job that the current administration in Nigeria has been working on.
Yes, I agree with you. It's just that a lot of these people, once they find themselves in a position of in a government position, once they're employed, a lot of them lose touch with reality. But I think what happened to Daniel Bwala is an indictment on the Nigerian media. They are used to pampering them whenever they are coming for interview. They bring questions that will be asked to that they should ask them. They talk recklessly. They tell lies with both face. They don't even have the fear of the people. They just tell blanket lies.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Y&E podcast. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, share, and engage with us in the comment section. There's a interview making rounds online. It was a head-to-head with Mehdi Hassan. Mehdi Hassan hosted Bwala in the UK, and it was a bloodbath. Mehdi Hassan brought a lot of receipt, and Bwala had to deny almost everything he said against the current president of Nigeria. And it was so embarrassing that a lot of people felt embarrassed for him. And it's so sad that if you decide to go against the government and you end up changing your mind, you're going to look like you don't know what you're talking about. And that is what happened to Daniel Bwala. He was one of the opposition spokesperson a few years back, and then he jumped ship, probably because he wanted to be part of the government or they offered him a job. And he has been tasked with defending the horrendous job that the current administration in Nigeria has been working on. So no record of success can be put out there by the government. No record of success can be shared with the Nigerian people and also the people outside of the country. So it's a shame that is having to defend incompetence of the government, is having to defend the inability of the government to do the basic things to make the lives of the Nigerian people better. The president promised to supply Nigerians 24/7 power supply. That hasn't happened yet. He promised to fix the economy. Obviously, it hasn't happened. It was during his tenure that he removed the fuel subsidy and everything jumped up. The cost of transportation drastically increased. The dollar to naira rate is no longer affordable for people doing businesses internationally. And for people trying to send their kids to school abroad, it's no longer affordable. They've basically messed up the lives of Nigerians. And it's a shame that Daniel Bwala is still out there defending the government, even though we can tell that the government has failed the people. And this is the same thing that happened to Sheyi Law on his interview with the Honest Bunch podcast, because there's no way to argue against fact. Bwala almost said the same thing, that Nigeria is better now than it was 10 years ago. He basically almost said, it looks like they have a talking points that they go out there to all the media houses and just spill out on national TV and spill out to people. Nigeria is not better than it was 10 years ago. It's gradually getting worse and the people are suffering. But it looks like the leaders are not truly listening and they're out of touch with the people, especially if you're getting paid by the government. If you're still able to feed, if you're privileged, maybe you're not affected with things going on. But if you're not privileged, everybody out there is begging for one thing or the other. And it's sad.
Yes, I agree with you. That is sad. It's just that a lot of these people, once they're employed, a lot of them lose touch with reality. But I think what happened to Daniel Bwala is an indictment on the Nigerian media. They are used to pampering them whenever they are coming for interview. They bring questions that they should ask them. They talk recklessly. They tell lies with both face. They don't even have the fear of the people. They just tell blanket lies. In fact, even with a weekly, with his media chat, He will be talking to the media like he's talking to his children. In fact, not even his children. He will be talking to them like he's talking to his servants. And while he's being interviewed, he's drinking himself to stupor. So they are used to that. In fact, in the last 24 hours, Shegun Shoumi has been trying to rationalize, to defend Daniel Bwala, to say that Mehdi Hassan was very hostile and that wasn't journalism, that was, being personal. I don't see any reasonable person coming to the defense of Daniel Bwala. He had a very, very bad outing. He performed woefully. If I were to grade him, I would probably give him a very strong D. He's nowhere near C. Probably, maybe he needed some more media training. Maybe he's not just intelligent and not smart. Maybe Tinubu was just trying to get back at him because he told a lot of things, made a lot of statements. In fact, according to him, it's almost believable that a lot of those statements was made out of ignorance. He probably don't believe in those statements. Those statements were probably not true, but because he was in opposition, he was just throwing everything on the wall to see what sticks. And then this is a lesson to opposition. If you are in opposition, do not just put that statement because you want to put that statement. Make sure that whatever you're doing, we can still play opposition role and still be truthful and be factual. We can't just throwing things on the wall because we want to play opposition. Yeah, Daniel Bwala, in fact, he was even trying to say that when they reached out to him for the interview, they never told him that they were going to ask him about his past. That was not good, the part of Mehdi Hassan. In fact, he has, in the time past, praised Mehdi Hassan that he's probably the best debater on the planet Earth, the best journalist on the planet Earth. So if you have known this person, and you have known his standard, his style, and all of that stuff, shouldn't you have prepared yourself to, for the interview? In fact, he was asked, because he was posted a video preparing with his team and all of that stuff. And then they asked him, what were you preparing for? Since everything they ask you, you say you don't know. What were you preparing for? Is an embarrassment. It would be definitely be very difficult to defend something that is indefensible. A government that is not working, a government that is impoverishing its people, that is, intentionally driving his citizens into poverty. It will be difficult to defend it, just like Sheila's outing on the Honest Bunch, like you mentioned. It was a total disaster for Sheila. It was also a total disaster for Daniel Bwala. In fact, I would argue that Tinubu should just cut him loose. He should just let him go. He did not even demonstrate intelligence. He did not demonstrate smartness. I was embarrassed when Mehdi Hassan asked him if he thought it was funny, because he kept laughing. And then, that was a very poor performance. And I think Tinubu should just cut him loose.
Well, I believe he was laughing because he didn't have any other thing to talk about. He knew the interview was a failure, and everybody was making fun of him because he was talking about glass half empty, half full. That's not what the question was. They really wanted to know what is the government doing to better the lives of Nigerians, and they started putting propaganda and not really telling the truth and not really addressing the questions. And a lot of the things that he was doing, he was going back and forth and talking about things that other governments around the world are doing. At least the countries you're comparing your country to, the countries are working and your citizens are rushing to those countries to at least benefit from the things going on. So what can you and your government settle down and fix the country so that your people would not migrate to all those countries? And as a government official, you should know that everything is on the table. If you're going for an interview, so saying that you didn't know they're going to use your past statement against you is indefensible. It's not even a valid excuse, right? You're a government official and everything is on the table. You're a public person. You've made this statement in public. Why going against the government? So it tells us that you're not a very honest person. You're a very dishonest person. And people should not take anything coming out of your mouth seriously. They should take it with a grain of salt. It looks like everyone that has been some kind of media aid to the government of Nigeria, they've showed that they are not honest. They've shown great dishonesty. Remember Lai Mohammed? Everybody referred to him with his first name, like Lai Mohammed, because all he does is lie all the time. So this is what is happening. It's impossible to defend incompetencies. It is impossible to defend things that are not working. When everybody around the world can see what's going on, people can see that there are more Nigerians in multi-dimensional poverty than there were before the president came into power. So people are getting poorer and poorer by the day. Companies are exiting to other countries day by day, and we're here, talking about how ill prepared Daniel Bwala was for the interview. So if the government is doing well, no matter what you have said in the past, you should be able to tell them, hey, this is what the government is doing, and we believe is the right guy for the job. And again, the president has shot himself in the foot. Basically said, if I didn't give you 24-hour power, don't vote for me in the second term. And now they're coming back for the second time. I don't know how they're going to get people to vote for them without rigging the elections. I don't think a lot of Nigerians are going to show up. I mean, I don't think the president should fire him. I think they should keep him there for him to continue to represent the presidency, for him to continue to put out, propaganda on behalf of the government. Look at Reno Amakri. I can't wait for Mehdi Hassan to have a head-to-head with Reno Amakri. How do you think that's gonna go? Because he's the same person that said that Tinubu was guilty of drug allegations in the U.S. And this is the guy that has been sent to Mexico to basically go represent the country. And we all know what goes on in Mexico. So this is embarrassing for everyone involved. And hopefully people will rewrite their wrongs and continue to provide good leadership for Nigeria and put good information out there and not just propaganda.
Yeah, I don't see Reno Mokri going to Mehdi Hassan's show. He don't want to. He would probably wouldn't want to embarrass himself. I don't see that happening. In fact, there is this comedian called Koboko. He was trying to make to say that it looks like Tinubu purposely hired Bwala and Reno Mokri to get back at them. Because if not, why would they post Reno Mokri to Mexico? And why would they send Bwala to head with Hassan? Was he intentionally done to embarrass him, to expose his flip-flopping nature? I mean, in the cabinet, they probably will have a lot of other people that they could have sent, Fashola is there, even though he's not in the cabinet, but he's still very close to Tinubu. He's a very, very good communicator. Bayo Nonuga is there. Dele Alake is there. They have a whole lot of people. Even if Bajabi Amala is there too, they have a whole lot of people that they could have sent, but they sent Daniel Bwala of all people with a lot of baggages. Maybe it was intentionally done to humiliate him. And if that was the case, if that is the case, I'm all in for it. I love seeing these people eat their their words, eat it without cooking it, raw. It's always it's always a delight for me to see them eating their words. Yeah, but this is a lesson to all other people. Like I said before, if you are in opposition, do not just put out statement because you want to play opposition politics. Make sure that whatever you put it out is true and factual, because just like somebody said in the comment section on X, so that in case tomorrow you want to eat your word, make your word as soft as possible so that you doesn't choke on your word. Yeah, definitely was a bad outing, and I hope he learned his lesson, and I hope next time, according to him, he wasn't prepared. I hope next time, if he ever get a rematch, I hope he prepare and then have enough time to to reset, and then we'll wait forward to the rematch. And let us know what you think about the debate between Mehdi Hassan and Daniel Bwala. For me, I think Daniel Bwala did excellently well, but let us know what you think.